All right, today I want to talk a little bit about spiritual warfare because that is something that is so rampant in in the world. And honestly, it always has been, but the world has started to twist things to where that's not what we know it as. Instead, it is disguised as things like mental health. Mental health is a big one. I don't know a single mental health condition that cannot be explained by spiritual warfare. But the world has twisted it and they want to medicate you and all these things for something that honestly, if you just grow a relationship with God and you take it to Him continually, He will help you through it. Now, I'm not saying that that just changes overnight because you seek God. It's something that you have to do on a regular basis. And sometimes, especially early on in that struggle, it's something that you will probably have to take to Him maybe on an hourly basis. It's very continual. But seek Him, ask for His guidance, and ask for His strength, and I promise He will help you overcome that. Other ways that spiritual warfare shows is it can be through the people around you. It can be through circumstances, definitely thoughts and distractions. Satan is the king of this world. I mean, and his influence is everywhere. So whether it's worldly distractions or it's, a thought that you think is your own, the spiritual realm parallels our realm. So we can't see them, but they can see us. So the devil and his minions, they know you. They know your routine. They know what you're going through. They know what you've been through. I mean, dating all the way back to forever. So they will absolutely prey on that. And that's how he gets you, because we become so desensitized to the spiritual world, I feel like, that we just chalk it up to whatever worldly explanation it's given us. But at the end of the day, that's part of his tactics. So he will manipulate thoughts and make you think that they're your own thoughts, as well as others. That's how he can use other people, especially if they're not aware of the spiritual aspect, especially the spiritual warfare aspect, or maybe not as close to God. There's countless. I mean, even those that are close to God, we can all fall victim to the spiritual warfare and fall into that trap, which is why it's so important to try to combat that. First of all, the relationship with God. It's number one. After that, though, it comes discipline, because discipline is going to be one of the most important traits. Actually, probably the most important trait in your walk with God, because it's going to help keep that relationship. Because I promise, once you're in a relationship with God, the devil will never stop trying to come in between that. Because when you're living according to God's will, and you're listening to God, and you're following God, and you are surrendering to God, that's when the devil knows that he has to worry. So he's going to work twice as hard. So discipline is going to be, everything else is going to follow that. So discipline in your prayer life. Make sure prayer is literally just talking to God. Sure, you can have your regular prayers and whatnot, but at the end of the day, to truly have a relationship with God, your prayers shouldn't always be scripted or repetitive or regimented, what have you. It's literally talking to God. It's as simple as that. So going to God, not only with your needs, but you should also be going to God for other people. The people you care about, the people you don't. But be disciplined in praying consistently, like all the time. You're going to start, especially for those that don't, you always have to start somewhere. I know I had to start on kind of, a regular thing, kind of making myself. But now it's like, now that I have that relationship, when something goes wrong, first person I go to, God. When something's going well, first person I go to, God. Anyways, so discipline in your prayer. Also, reading the Bible, like every day. You may not start out there, but that should be the goal. reading your Bible every day. When you read it again. What I like to do is I like to go back and try the different versions. In fact, I'm working on learning Greek because I would like to read the New Testament in its original form, and then also the Old Testament was translated to Greek when that was a common language. Anyways, but be in your Bible every day. Even if you're reading the same version, you're going to learn something new each time you read it. God's going to speak to you through it. He's going to teach you and guide you. Just make sure you're going to Him also before reading the Bible. That's how I was honestly able to get into the Bible, was by taking His guidance. Also, fasting. Fasting helps a lot, but you need to fast with intention. Set a time, that's between you and God, and make sure you stick to that. And also make sure that in that time that you are setting up for fasting, that you're going to have time, at least more time to devote to spend with Him and to talk to Him, to learn from Him, to be paying attention to His responses. And, it's all spiritual. So a lot of the ways that God will talk to you could also be a lot of the ways that the devil might be trying to get to you, like through people and through your thoughts and through circumstances. The difference is God will also talk to you through His Word. And also, when God talks to you, or when He's revealing something to you, or when He's answering a prayer, it should come with peace. So the devil brings confusion and anxiety, but God brings peace and clarity. So look for those when you're paying attention to His responses. Also, when you're looking for a response from God, and this is another reason why it's so important to be in the Word, because His response will never contradict His Word. So if you're getting something that's contradictory to His Word, it's not from God.